Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a journal with me. It's also an older journal with me. I've been looking through my phone and trying to delete photos that I didn't need, and I'm trying to get them together to like archive, I guess you'd say, in like my computer so I'm not overloading my phone. And so I ran across this video that I taped a while back, and it's for October the 9th, 10th, 11th, and the 12th, like right before my birthday. So I like to do art journaling. While I am not an artist in any way, I don't draw, but I definitely like using different items, whether it's magazine, junk, scrapbooking, junk journaling, things of that sort. I really like doing, and I really wanted to get more into it because not all the time do I want to like just freehand write everything. Sometimes an expression of how I'm feeling is through like different pictures or art. So go grab you a drink, coffee, tea, water, pop, whatever you have, and actually get your journals too. That's one thing that I do like to do when I'm watching other people journal or plan. Sometimes just having that in the background is really helpful to me, and it's just something that I like to do. And these are previous cutouts that I've had. I normally try to keep them in some type of folder or binder so that I'm able to pull them out when needed. And so you'll see me kind of working back and forth between these 4 days because it's pretty much how I was feeling for both. Now, I'm still learning a lot in terms of different things that actually stick to the paper. I don't want to use double-sided tape all the time because they can get very expensive, even if it's getting it from the Dollar Tree. So I know that not all glue sticks work that well. And because I like to keep my journals, I definitely don't want things to come up. So feel free to leave me any suggestions down below of different glue sticks or things that you use that really helps it stick well. So I am, I guess you can say, just experimenting, and it's something that I want to do more of. And pretty much these days, these 4 days, I was feeling so overwhelmed, which is what is pretty much typical to how I feel on most days with the tasks that I have and just being productive and my days filling with so many things. So that is the reason why I decided to add this picture of how to deal when your life explodes. And that's kind of how I feel it does sometimes. I make plans and I have all these great ideas and routines and just things that I want to do. And while it sounds good, makes a lot of sense, and will probably make life more easy, it's hard to get them implemented, and it can be even harder sometimes to stay consistent with it. So it takes a lot of going back and forth and maneuvering things around, I would say. And it's something that I'm learning and I'm trying to work through. And I think a huge part of why I struggle is perfectionism. I'd say I've been struggling with that for a while, to the point where even my journaling and planning, I'd say, helps me come so far with it, because doing different journaling like this, it allows me to be free with things and not have everything so uniformed and has to be perfect in any way. And I'm also trying to find my style and what works for me with a lot of journaling and just playing around with certain things. I tend to like a lot on a page sometimes, but this spread, you'll see I am pretty much putting a lot on here because that's exactly how I'm feeling. Like, I'm feeling like my life is so boggled down with so many things, and it's so squished and overwhelmed, and it's just so packed with so many things, and it can be very hard to maneuver and even be productive when things are so chaotic. And it's something I'm learning to sit in. And I think me being able to sit in it is giving me more insight on how to change it, and in what areas to change first, and how to go about doing it, and just being comfortable with the process of change and finding what fits. I think the society and world that we live in now, everything you can pretty much get whenever and however you want it. Like ordering groceries, food, even dating. Like you can pretty much do that from the comfort of your own home and just swiping. So for a lot of things, I think when we're making changes in life, because we have that motivation and we finally come to the acknowledgement that something needs to change, we expect that change to happen just as fast as the idea to change has happened, if that makes any sense. So it takes a lot of just being gentle with yourself, as you'll always hear me say on a lot of my videos. It's the importance of being gentle with yourself. That helps any change in any process or transition in your life. And it's something that I always have to constantly remind myself to do as well. So on this spread, you'll see me using Katy Perry, and she just had so many words around her because it was an interview from the Cosmo magazine. And some of the things that was on the page is something that I definitely agree with. Like one of the things that's on here, and I kind of circle or outline in black marker, is here's my recipe for getting over a breakup. And when I interpret that not to mean for me so much of a breakup with someone, it's a breakup with bad habits and being complacent in areas that I know are unproductive. So like she put work on, self, no drinks, meditate, work out, go to therapy, hike, be with friends, family, and things of that sort. So I think that's something that's so important, just to self-care in general and keeping ourselves up in a certain way. Is those are some of the things that we should be doing regularly. And it was just something that really spoke to me. You'll also see me adding other stickers around that says like get organized. And I'm going back and forth as I'm thinking about different things as well for the other page, because pretty much they're both kind of cohesive. One is just filled with exactly how my life is, so many different things in so many different areas. And the other one is kind of, the second page is kind of showing you, because all of these things are happening and overwhelming, it's making it hard to deal with, as if things are literally exploding. So I'm putting stickers down like busy and OMG and details. Literally, that's what one of the stickers says, details. Shine bright, love you to the moon and back, because I think it's so important that when we're going through things to love on ourselves. A lot of times we look for others to do it. Just like if you have kids or family members that have had kids, when they go through hard times, whether it's they fail or something happened, they're looking for that parent or loved one to like love on them and let them know that everything will be okay. And sometimes that's what we have to do to ourselves. We have to tell ourselves that I love you to the moon and back. You are important. You are this, you are that, you are capable of better. You are doing a great job, even though it seems like you're not. And so on top of this page, I'm also adding little post-its, because sometimes I feel like my life is chaotic. Like the initial spread has her like looking like everything is pretty much put together, but it's so many things around that is also going on. And sometimes with a lot of people, it looks like they have everything put together and everything is going so smoothly, but inside things could be a mess. It could be chaotic. And so I'm adding in little small post-its, and I'm putting, it's like that's how things are layered on top of me. So some of the things that I put on those post-its is complete every task for everyone, because that's how it seems like I'm always doing. Call everyone for everyone's appointments and need. That's another thing that I put, because that's something that I'm always doing as well. And I always have to manage. And sometimes it's so difficult managing your own life, but managing like so many other appointments can be very tricky. I'm also put hoping vacation is not like this, because that was right before my trip, and so cluttered and busy with everything. And within the chaos, I did put like the rainbow up top and the hearts around it, and just love and hearts and things like that, because even though life is not and may not be going the way that we planned, and it may be a struggle and it may be chaotic and overwhelming, it's something that we can always find. It's a rainbow or a heart. It's something we can always find if we really look for it. Something that is going well, or that person or thing that happened that made us feel a little bit brighter that day. And so that's something that I encourage you all to do. No matter how difficult life gets, try to find at least one thing that you're grateful for. Whether that's at the beginning of the day, I would suggest doing it at the beginning and the end, and maybe midday, because sometimes, depending on what job you have, midday can be just as difficult as a struggle as the beginning of the day was. And the next page, with the how to deal when your life is exploding, I put other encouraging things around that as well, because I don't want to make it seem like everything is going wrong and like, woe is me, because that's one of the reasons that I had gotten in a journaling slump a while back, because I got tired of, because I read back my journals like every month, every other month. I look back to see progress that I've made, and I was seeing like the same things down for like the same people, and things that were happening in my life was the same, and it was somewhat depressing to me. And so I steered away from journaling for a while, but it doesn't have to be everything that I focus on. So even though these pages represent overwhelm and chaos, it is something within each one that shows a brighter side. So like on the page of how to deal when your life explodes, I did put ways on how I need to deal with it, like pray, love God, trust God, slow down, rest, and eat, and love myself. Those are the things that I need to remind myself when I'm having these moments. Is I need to love on myself more. I need to go to God and pray through these things. I need to journal sometimes and get what I need to off of my chest and down on paper. And then the shine bright stickers, let God's light shine despite what's going on in my life. Just because things are hard, it doesn't mean that I have to present myself in that way as well. And what else did I put? Lean into my support system. That is a huge one that I think not a lot of people do, because I listen, especially the job that I have, I listen to so many people say, well, I do have a support system. When I ask about a support system, they'll say like, yeah, I do have a support system. And it's always a but that comes after most times. And most of the times the but is, but I don't want to burden them. But I know they have their own things. But I know that I'm always coming to them with the same thing. And by all means, I think it's great that we care about other people, because we don't want to overwhelm other people with our troubles, especially if they're going through themselves. But checking in with people and say, hey, like, do you have the capacity to listen to what I'm saying now? I think that's very respectful. And it's also modeling for somebody else that may not be able to do that for themselves. Hey, it's good to check in. But if they're your support and they say that they can talk to you, definitely use support systems. And support systems does not always have to be our close people. It could be a therapist, psychiatrist, different places that brings us joy.